What's the secret to scalability, and why should you even consider scaling your business or even growing it more? Well, if you want to make more money and have more freedom and time, you've got to be able to figure out how to scale it. I'm going to explore with you today how to do that. Today we're talking about the secret of scalability and how important that is to build that into your businesses, because I've found that if you don't have that scalability, your time is now becoming a slave to your business. So we're going to show you how you free yourself up from your business so that you have more time and more freedom to enjoy life. When you learn to scale your business, you'll see that scalability equals profits. Increased profits, as a matter of fact. When many people start a small business, they struggle to scrape by on that day-to-day operations. However, once they've nailed local operations, many entrepreneurs don't look to scale because they're daunted by the work, even when scaling can be easier and much more profitable than putting in place the original business. I have a friend who started his business, he was going great, and he found that he became a slave to that business because he had to be there all the time to work the business. And as he worked those many hours, it took him away from his family. It took him away from the important projects and things that he wanted to accomplish in his life because he had to be there at the business. So once we got in and we looked at his business and we saw how we could change it, rather than becoming the owner-operator, he became the owner and director of the business. We scaled it by plugging in a system, a step-by-step system that allowed him to put other people in place and increase the profit still with that system in place, and he was able to enjoy more time and freedom with his family. So what is one of the best systems ever created to scale a business? That's the world of franchising. So what is franchising? Franchising is the distribution system in which third-party investors, franchisees, purchase the rights to define market or business model and license those rights to a brand name from a franchisor. Okay, so we've heard a lot about franchising and how that can work, and we've heard about the high success rates and the difference it makes between a normal, everyday, independent or unaffiliated type business versus a franchise business. What makes that franchise system even more successful than just starting a normal business? There's three main factors. Number one is there is a brand name. There's something that we can all get behind and support and build, and it's a trademarked name. Number two is there is a proven system, step by step to follow. So we have an outline that we can follow to have a desired outcome almost every single time if we just follow that. It's already set out there for us. And number three is a support system. That means mentors and coaches and people who care about you. In the world of franchising, we work together. We help each other. We support each other. So you have people to go to when you have questions. We have coaches. We have people where we can be accountable to. There's nothing else like it in the world. In fact, it's become the most successful marketing strategy ever created. There are some tremendous benefits to the franchisee. Generally, franchisees pay an initial fee for the rights to the business model, the intellectual property, and support needed to implement a business model in their market. The franchisee also benefits by being part of a larger brand and shared advertising costs. One of the things I've found a great benefit to franchisees is you get to start your business typically right down the street. So it's convenient. You don't have to buy a business across the town or across another state or in another country even. You can be local and have local support and be part of the community. And that's huge as a benefit to you as a business owner. Now, the other thing that happens in a franchise, you've got the benefit of having advertising costs. If you're just out there alone and you start your own business, you got a few smoldering little coals out there going, and maybe it's working for you a little bit here and there. But with a franchise company and you have other franchisees out there contributing to those advertising funds and the marketing funds, and you're building and building and building, now what you have is a bonfire. It's growing, it's huge, everybody notices it. So there's a much bigger chance of success when you have other people surrounding you and you're in this huge bonfire. So when you think about what it costs to start up a franchise, there's all different kinds of levels, but they're divided up into two main areas that you would start a franchise. Number one is that brick and mortar. That's when you're getting usually a retail center or something on the street where people can drive by and they can see it. But you're going to need probably some tenant improvements. You're going to need some equipment. You're going to need some furniture and fixtures and maybe some inventory and things that will help you get that started up. But you know what? The franchisor will help you with all that. They'll help train those people. They'll help you find the location, negotiate the lease, hire people, and get all that set up. And that's the power of the franchise. So in a brick and mortar, when you've got to go through all that, typically it's going to be somewhere between maybe that $150,000 and up, depending on the location and the franchise. But guess what? There's financing available. So there's a down payment on that you would make. But the franchisor can help you get that financing before you even take the step of jumping into that franchise. The second type of franchise to consider is a non-brick and mortar, and that can be run out of your home or small office, very low overhead, and some of that startup can be less than $30,000. And even some of that can be financed. And you can gain a lot of support and help just like you can with some of the bigger franchises. So if you want to start something that's very low overhead and not a lot of ongoing payments to make for employees and rent and things like that, the non-brick and mortar may be a good choice for you. So with any business relationship, it needs to be a win-win. So what does the franchisor get out of this? How do they win with the franchisee in place? When the franchisees pay an initial franchise fee from $50,000 to $150,000, or even sometimes a little bit greater, the benefit for the franchisor is twofold. The fee is a capital injection to the expanding brand, while doubly serving is a commitment and skin in the game from the franchisee. The franchisor is also paid in royalties as the new location performs well. So sometimes you might think, okay, well, if they're making all this money, how am I benefit from this if I'm paying all of this money out? Well, here's what happens in the world of franchising. You can drive down any street in the United States, and you'll see that about 8% of those retail businesses are franchise businesses. Only 8%. But when you analyze the numbers behind that, those businesses are doing over 40% of the retail sales. So 8% to 40%. So what does that tell us? That tells us that franchising grabs a bigger piece of the market share, which equals more profits. So typically in most any franchise situation, anything we're paying out to be part of that club is exceeded by the profits and the benefits that we're getting as a franchisee. There's no comparison. It's the most successful strategy ever created. And so why wouldn't we want to be part of that to where we can receive the buying power, also cost savings as being part of a franchise company, and have those special things that only the franchise company can offer and you can't get anywhere else. So in the world of franchising, we've seen explosive growth, typically outpacing even the stock market. Because of huge upside of franchising for both parties, franchising has expanded quickly. In 2012 to 2016, we saw the highest year-over-year growth for the franchise market. And the model is still rocketing to new brands skyward today. As a franchise owner over the many years, during the 2008 and 2009 recession, we were thinking, uh-oh, what's going to happen here? Our franchise revenue is going to start dropping. It's going to start going down. We've got to be able to scale back. We have to be able to prepare for that. But you know what happened? Our franchise revenue, store by store, continued to go up. And we could see that month after month, this continued to go up in our service business that we were operating. So recession doesn't necessarily affect the world of franchising. So we call it a recession-resistant business that you'll want to select and look at. But what about inflation? We're living in some pretty challenging times where prices are going up, inflation's going up, stock market's going down, everything's going every which way. But you know what? Still, in the world of franchising, it's still going up. Our numbers, we're seeing them continually grow because we've captured that market share in areas that other independent business have not. So franchising still is our best bet even during inflationary times. Now that we reviewed these essential things about scalability and how franchising can make an impact to you and your family, it's important now to consider how that can work for you and add that income stream to your business portfolio. If you've never considered franchising before, this is the time. It's growing like crazy. It's an opportunity to have that freedom and also add some tremendous income streams and scale your business and scale your freedom even to bigger heights. So click the link below and we'll have one of our experts get with you and set up a game plan precisely for you and what's best for you and your family. I hope you've learned a lot today about the importance of scalability and how franchising can help you do that. So don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and watch the next video.